Welcome back to Cooking with Morris. We're going to be doing some smoked brisket, and hopefully you can see the plate. It's very sunny here at the moment, so I've got a few problems with actually seeing what's being filmed. But there's some smoked brisket here, a bit of bread, a few roast spuds, and some cabbage, braised cabbage with apple, and a sausage. The only thing missing is some barbecue sauce, but that will probably be featured in a later video. So I'd just like to say, enjoy the vid, stay safe, and wherever you are, my thoughts are with you. So yeah, enjoy the video. And I might have left a few things out, but I think you'll enjoy it. So cheers. Right, so we've got an entry-level smoker here. I got this from Amazon UK, and they cost around £40 or thereabouts. Obviously you can spend, well, I think thousands on a smoker. In the UK we don't tend to smoke much, so my cousin who recently got married, by the way, so congratulations, he's in Phoenix, so he tends to spend a bit more on his smoker anyway. This was a sort of a bit of a long shot, because obviously when things cost a little bit less, you're a bit sort of loath to buy them, but so far it's produced some good results. Now, yeah, it's 3 layers, and the process of smoking involves using coals, and there's a certain, well, briquettes ideally, because briquettes, they say online, well, the theory is that they'll burn slower, but you can use both sets of coal. I'm actually using the lump wood today, but so you put your coals in, and there's a way to do it, and I'll show you that in a sec. And then there's a water bowl, and then you've got 2 layers here for cooking. Now the top layer is designed for generally sort of smoking fish, but you can put sausages there as well, and then this layer will be for the brisket, which is what we're doing today. These 2 doors will open, so you can pour water in here, and you can actually add coals in here or keep the door open for more airflow. Generally you want to get 100 degrees C for cooking. There's a temperature gauge on here, but that can sometimes not be accurate, so I've got a thermometer probe here. This is what you'll need. I'll put a link to that as well in the description, and also very useful as a starter chimney for the coals. So that's pretty much it for the intro. Now let's go into a bit more detail on how to light the coals, and I'll show you a few more of the layers, and then we'll get cooking the meat. Right, obviously I'm not going to light this on the wooden table, but here's the chimney. I'm doing a full stack. Below I've put some paper. There's a sort of, if you haven't used one of these before, there's a place where you put the paper. I've got basically about 6 sheets of newspaper, and what I do is I sort of roll it up and then tie a knot in it. That's just always the way I do it, and then yeah, it lights within sort of 20 minutes or so. But now quickly just moving on, sorry about this camera work, is we're going to look in to our coal bowl. Now what I've done here, I don't know if you can see any holes in the actual bowl, but I found that there wasn't that much airflow getting to it, so I've drilled some extra holes into the actual bowl itself. And then what you do, and I'm using lump wood, really you want to use briquettes. You might basically, there's a method called the snake method. So you leave a space in the middle, and you basically make a snake that goes around the sort of outside, sort of, you see what I've done with the lump wood here? So there's sort of this distance, but you want the coals to be touching. And what the theory is, well, what will happen is you put the hot coals in the middle. They'll obviously be red hot, but they'll burn these coals, but they'll burn at a slower rate. So you're basically keeping the temperature up. That's the idea. And also, while we're here, is I've got some of these chips, and these are cider, I think. Cider? No, chestnuts. Cider. That would be an interesting flavour. But you can, yeah, actually, well, whatever you want really. Cider flavour might work. But these are chestnut chips, and I've soaked them in water, and I'm going to put them around the side here, and so they'll sort of start to smoke. You can put a few in the middle as well, so you get the smoke going straight away. I'm not too keen on these chestnut ones, so I'm only going to put a few in, but you can see what I'm doing, just putting these around the side, and as we're smoking our brisket, these will all add to the flavour. So let's now go on to sticking the brisket on and then cooking. Right, we're ready to put the coals on. Got to be very careful as you do this. Oh, that's hot. And I've completely forgotten to bring a tool. Hang on. Oops. Right, gonna just knock all this flat. There's quite a lot in there, so we're gonna get a good smoke going. Now the next stage is to put our bowl of water on our grill. And what I'm going to do here is just fill this all the way to the brim. You can put beer in here. I'm not sure what else you could put in there. Anything really that's going to help sort of add flavour to the meat. That should be cool. Actually, that's quite high. Anyway, now for the brisket. I had a bit of string in here, so I'm going to have to take that off. And that's it. And we're going to cook for 3 hours or so, and then we're going to wrap it basically. I've got this, which is a little bit of the chipotle mixed with olive oil to put on. And I've completely made a boob. How am I going to press stop when my fingers are covered? Oh dear, shorts are going to have to get covered in kind of marinade. Right, I'm going to put, oh yeah, actually, what am I doing? I'll put the top layer on. Completely forgotten what I was doing. So yeah, so this little door here, I don't know if you can see that, yeah, you can add the water in. And also I'm going to leave this door open at the bottom. You can't see that at the moment, but the door where the coals is going to be shut. Lid goes on like so. Try not to get too much stuff on your... See, this doesn't really fit too well. There you go. So, and then at the top, I'll show you this quick. Move back. There's a little air vent. If you can make that out to the right hand side. I'm just going to close it. So I'm going to build a heat up at the top and keep the smoke in. There's a little bit of a gap. And then down below is going to be open so that all the air can get in and keep those coals going. And then after maybe half an hour or so, I think I'm going to shut that. And then at the top, I'll probably half open it to let some of the smoke come out. So yeah, let's see how it does. So about 2-3 hours, I reckon. Yeah, I could probably check it in, say 2.5 hours, and then what I might do is just wrap it in foil or butcher's paper, and then finish it off. So yeah, fingers crossed. Right. So we're coming up to 2.5 hours on the cooking, and I thought I'd just show you what I do with the probe. So here's our probe, and we open the top here. Careful not to touch anything. And then I've set it on to a setting where it will just keep going up and up and up and up and up and up. And I put my probe in, and you just have to keep standing here with a steady hand. And then your temperature will go up and up and up. And that's just to give you an idea of the temperature that you're getting near the top of the smoker. And where I've got the actual brisket is lower down, so the temperature should, in theory, be higher. But it just read about 103 or 4 degrees, so which is kind of about right. So Now what we're going to do is wrap the smoker in foil, give it a brisket in foil, give it a baste, and then carry on the cooking for about another 2 hours. And then I'll use this probe to check the interior temp. Okay, so it's 2.5 hours in. I'm just going to take off the lid quick. I don't want to spend too long doing this. But there's our brisket. And it's kind of still smoking, but I think it's got at least another couple of hours to go. But I've got some foil here. Now we've still got some coals left. You can see the water's evaporated off. It's not that hot to the touch, actually. And so we've got that on. I'm just going to curl this in. And I'm going to pour on a little bit of chipotle flavoured oil. Wow, that looks looking good. I might have to put some more coals on in about an hour's time. So in theory this could take another 2.5 hours. But there we go. So that's wrapped. And get everything back on, and then I'll show you the finished brisket in about 2.5 hours time. Oh yeah, looking good. So it's been 6 hours cooking. Is it 6 hours? 5 hours. Just quickly, I'll say what happened was I couldn't really. Well, it's the struggle with this smoker is you've got to try and reach about 105 degrees, and I was struggling a bit. But it was kind of okay. But for the last hour or so, I removed the water bowl, and the temperature shot up. I added another batch of coals, and I actually moved the brisket here, wrapped it in foil, and I moved it onto the higher level. And within the hour, it basically sort of finished off cooking. So I kind of cheated by removing the water bowl. The whole process of smoking is meant to be smoke and sort of water continuously, which is what I've been led to believe, by the way. I mean, I'm not an expert, obviously, but that's the general idea. And you've got to try and keep the temperature up around 104 or so. But with this sort of 40-pound barbecue smoker, it's been tricky. But I'm getting better, and in the next video I'll explain that to you. Anyway, let's cut through and see what it looks like. So it's looking really nice. I'll just to try and show you better, I might just move it onto the actual oh my god, look at all those juices. I mean, so juicy. Sorry, I didn't mean to sound like that. It's been a long day in the sun. I'm trying to get a really nice shot for you so I can show you this delicious meat. Of course I'm left-handed, and I'm trying not to get in the way. Oh, and it's looking lovely. So you know what I'm going to have to do. Now, that is really good. Anyway, I'll show you the full plate.